Welcome back to my channel. You're welcome back. This is the Eden Woman TV, and I welcome you specially to this day 5 of our exercise. Yes, our exercise is about money and business gist. That is what it is called, and we meet on our Telegram group every day by 9 p.m. to discuss money and business using The Smart Money Woman, a book written by Arase Ugu, as our main text. So that's the book that we are using as our main text, and if you don't have one, please go get one, or you can join our group. The link is in the description box. You can join the Telegram group and become part of us, and you will get this ebook there. Or if you can find any bookshop around you or go to Amazon, you can actually order for the book. So we meet 9 p.m. in this channel every day to discuss, and this is our day 5, but we are in chapter 4 of this book. So I encourage you to join us and make sure you do all the exercise. For our members, you're welcome to day 5. I'm sure you have done all the exercises from day 2 to today, to yesterday night. That was day 4. Day 4, yes, and chapter 3. I hope you've done all your exercises. Honestly, it's an interesting thing. Yesterday's exercise was about printing statements of accounts. Have you printed yours? Are you still in the process of printing? Please do it fast. We have to tackle our money issues as we learn our money lessons. So today we are reading chapter 4, and chapter 4 says dealing with debt. Debt, D-E-B-T. She was owing, as we have seen, Zuri, who is our main character, the main character of this book, the African lady who we are learning her story from, her stories, the African girl's journey to financial freedom. That the African girl is Zuri. So her journey to her financial freedom is what we've been studying, and the lessons she has learned, so that the same thing will not happen to us, or if it's already happening to us, we know how to tackle it. So Zuri went for a birthday. She was invited by a friend named Banky to her son's birthday party. And she got there. The birthday party was so lavish, a lot of money spent for a 1-year-old birthday party. Is very interesting. But something more interesting happened there. There's another friend called Chinasa, who Banky thought was a very sweet, nice lady. She also came to the party, and she had one intention: to tell everybody that Banky borrowed money from the bank to do this, to have this party. And everybody was like, for 1-year-old party, for what? This story is trying to show us the kind of things that puts people to debt, trying to please others and stuff like that. So it's obvious Banky was living a fake life. She and her husband, they borrowed millions from the bank just to have their 1-year-old son's birthday party. A boy who don't even know what is happening, but because they are not, most times when people celebrate their children's birthday party, it's not even for the child, it's just for them to show off to their friends what they can do. And I hope we don't fall into that category. And the thing is that when you're in debt, people somehow, the news goes round, or even when it's not going round, you think that it is going round. And then what happened to Zuri was that when she was done with this Banky's son's birthday party, and she has heard their story, on her way back home, when she got to her estate, she began to think, who has heard my own story? I don't know. Maybe there should be a Chinasa here, or the landlord, Mr. Kereke, must have told everybody her story. And she started feeling uncomfortable. She started feeling somehow, because she's in debt, and it's not a good thing to be in debt. So, okay, let me continue from here, from on page 63. Okay, on page 63. Zuri, when she got home and she was thinking about her debts and her issue with Mr. Kereke, she saw a mail. She got an email from Nneka, Nneka is a retail manager at Zazali, reminding her that she had an 80,000 naira balance to pay. Meanwhile, Zuri has forgotten that she had this debt. It was not even amongst the debt that she has written out, as we saw yesterday. At this point, it occurred to Zuri that she had not fully accounted for her total debt. She had others that she forgot. The ones that she was really thinking about were the pressing ones. Wow. She had only been stressed about the immediate threats. She had obviously thought about little else other than Mr. Keke and how she could possibly pay him in good time. So Zuri had forgotten that she had other debts. Okay, so Zuri was thinking this was becoming a mess. Even though she had made several changes to her spending in the last few weeks, she needed to confront her debt in its entirety and formulate a strategy to beat it down. So if you think that you have really taken care of your debts, you have listed them out, think more, think. Because debts are better rough handled in its entirety, not when you thought you have handled it. Because by yesterday we were thinking, wow, Zuri is getting hold of her finances, she's getting hold of her debt, she has listed them out and she's working on them, without knowing. Little did we know that she has more, and she didn't even know that she has more until that email from Nneka came calling. All right, a plan began to form in her mind. It was drastic but simple, and more importantly, it will be effective. So no matter how drastic the plan is, what matters that it will be effective. So we need to make effective plan to handle debt. Then she prioritized the debts according to their urgency. Mr. Keke was at the very top of the list. That is her landlord. She needed a place to live. She set a she set a schedule for how long it would take to pay off each debt. That is where the power of scheduling comes. You schedule not just in taking care of the home and house chores and errands and all that. You also schedule debt payments. We are learning. She scheduled placing a realistic timeline for when she could afford to pay off each loan. She didn't want to make the timeline too comfortable, but she knew that they had to be paid as quickly as possible so she could be debt-free. Yes, she didn't want to make the timeline too comfortable, to say, okay, let me give myself 1 year to pay. No, she had to make drastic change. Remember that Zuri has made change already in her spending habits. She has learned to spend less. She has learned not to go to the gym, and some other changes we saw yesterday. In case you don't know, you need to go to our previous videos on this channel to really understand the things that Zuri has done to help herself. So she's just adding this one to the ones that she has done. So another good thing she added is that she made her repayment plan to be in a short while so that she can repay her debt quick. She don't have to be comfortable. When you're in debt, you don't have to be comfortable. You can't be owing people and you're going throwing party. I've seen people complain about that. Someone that was owing them invited them for a party, and party they have plenty things, and she was still asking her to pay her in the party, and she was like, don't worry, you can't see I just had an event, you have to give me some time. Imagine the gods. So Zuri knew she doesn't have to be comfortable to pay her debt. So I think we have come. She did something else. After she had planned, she started making a plan, and one of the plans she made that really got to me is a business. Tammy, her friend, had told her about a shopping consignment outfit called Luxury Concrete, which could help her offload her designer bags. So she started to sell her designer bags. I'm sure a business will come out of this, because by the time she sells them off quickly, she will start selling bags from owing one and owing money, having been in debt just because she wants to own a designer bag. From that to actually selling designer bags, that's what I'm seeing that might come out of it. And after selling her designer bag, a lot of money came out of it. She's planning already how much that she's going to make by selling off all her designers, Chanel and then Alexander McQueen and all those names, big names. So, and secondly, she had another plan. She needs to sell off her car. The car was actually giving her too much stress, and she's already owing her mechanic 200,000. So Zuri did not procrastinate. She picked up her phone immediately and made a call through her mechanic, and the mechanic agreed, and they already planned on how to sell the money. He said she had a 30 minutes conversation with him, and he has persuaded the mechanic to put her car on the market and to recoup the 200,000 she owed him. So she was also owing the mechanic 200,000 naira. So the mechanic would take from the profits of the sale, and she would get a 5% commission for assisting her with selling the car. And she has already made plans with Tammy, her friend, to be picking her up from work, though it wasn't comfortable from Tammy, but what are friends for? If not for inconveniences, we need to inconvenience people. That's why mind who you hang out with. Mind the friends you choose. Some friends will carry her gist around without even helping out. So Tammy is helping her, though it wasn't comfortable, but for a while, for her to sell off her car, make her pay off her debts, and then maybe save up to buy another car. Then she placed a long overdue phone call to Dr. Emeka. Dr. Emeka is her doctor. She had health issues. She had fibroids. And Dr. Emeka assured her that her fibroid was not the threatening type, that she can actually calm down and then come to the hospital later to check when she needs to remove the fibroid, with the choice to take them out after, that she can even get married with them, that people give birth with fibroids. So these are the plans she has already put in place. Number one, to sell off her bags, sell off her car, and also postpone her medical treatment, which is not very much life-threatening. So what is your plan with the debts you are owing? No matter how big, no matter how small, you have to find a way to deal with them. You have to devise a plan to deal with these debts. Zuri did so, and we can see how it is working out. We're already seeing light at the end of Zuri's tunnel. We're already seeing that she's getting it. I'm already getting excited for her. I'm already being happy. I'm already becoming happy for her. She's no more in trouble, as it seems, and that is that. So what are the smart money lessons from this chapter 4? One of the lessons is to slay your debts. Yes. Remember, we are the slay homemakers. That is the journey we are on now, becoming the slay homemakers. How do we slay? We don't slay by wearing designers or by doing fashion or going half naked. No, we slay by being productive, making impact in this world and rising to our full potentials. But from this book, I saw that you can slay your debts, as in conquer. To slay means to conquer your world. We are homemakers, and we are conquering our world from home. Even though we are home, making our home, but we are not just like ordinary women. No, we can't be ordinary, because we are Jesus girls, making home fit for the King. So slay your debts. Anytime I hear the word slay, it rises up some emotions in me, because the world has been misdefined this word slay in the negative form. So the money lessons here is debt can be a useful tool to attain financial success, but how you use it matters. Like I already said, that I'm seeing Zuri starting a designer's handbag business. Since she knows where to buy them, and she knows people that buys them, that uses them, she can actually sell them. So she's the best person to sell designers' bags after this debt experience. Wealthy people use debt as a tool to leverage their investments and grow their cash flow. But poor people use debt to buy things that make rich people richer. Lord. Only borrow to acquire an asset that will appreciate in value. That is the only reason to borrow. Like I said earlier, I think it was on day 1 that I said that rich people, big business people, are also in debt. but their own debt is a good debt, not the debt that they borrow to eat food. They borrow to, even borrowing to eat food is better than borrowing to do parties, borrowing to wear designers, to please people who might not even know what you're wearing, to please people who might end up not being pleased. As we saw in the birthday party, the birthday party comprised of big people, but they're still gossiping each other. So why are you doing birthday? Why are you borrowing to have a party, to bring someone who will carry your news round? From this story, we saw that the Chinasa was carrying Banky's news. Every guest, she goes to this table, she gives them about how they borrowed money. So these people ended up borrowing money to bring in someone that will carry their news round. So you don't need to borrow money to do flimsy things. Business people, wealthy people borrow money to do business and grow their investments. But poor people borrow money to buy things that make rich people richer. Think about it. We need to put on our thinking cap, and we need to only borrow to acquire assets that will appreciate in value and not for liabilities, like borrowing money to buy a car. Car is a liability as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't show that you're rich. People with bad debt habits will typically go into debt, buying things their income cannot support. They will borrow money to purchase big ticket items that don't appreciate in value and most likely can't cover the cost of the debt over time. A word is enough for the wise. That's all I can say in this money lessons. A word is enough for the wise. We need to learn what to do with debt and what to do and when not to go near debt. All right, so we have come to the end of this chapter, and I'm sure you have learned the lessons. You have learned from Zuri how she slayed her debt, how she plans to slay her debt. She has not slayed, actually. She has made a plan, but just by having a concrete plan, you can see a sigh of relief. You can see her sleeping well, knowing that everything is not bad after all. There's still light at the end of the tunnel. So exercise, understand your debt and deal with it. Number 1 assignment. Acknowledge the total amount of your debt by making a list. So get your pen and paper, list your debts. The way you did yesterday, listed the things in your statement of accounts, marked the things that you shouldn't do, the places that your money go to. Now your debt, think about it, have a deep thought. Don't forget it when you owe people. In fact, I fear people who don't remember that they are owing people. I really fear them. They go to bed, they sleep well while they are owing others. So acknowledge the total amount, no matter how much it is. If you go to page 64 thereabouts, while Zuri calculated all her debts, it was 1 point something million. It was huge, but she has a plan. The plan made it easy. She made her start thinking of selling off those expensive things. And at the end of the day, you see her paying off her debts. So acknowledge the total amount, no matter how huge it is. Face it, confront it, slay it. Yes, you're a slay homemaker. You need to slay your debts. Number 2, set a repayment schedule that includes how much you owe each person or institution. Yes, bring out how much you owe everybody and make a schedule how you be tipping them off, paying them off little by little. Prioritize your debts. Decide which one is most important. Look at Zuri, the way she did her own. She knows that it's most important to have a roof over her head, so she will handle Mr. Kereke and before she will now start handling others. Number 4, set deadlines for each loan. If you have collected loans, set deadlines that you must pay. You need to be responsible, if not for anything, for your peace of mind. We saw from the beginning how Zuri lost her peace of mind, how she lost herself simply because she's owing. So for your own sake, set deadline for your loan. There should be an estimate of how long it's going to take you to pay off each debt. Number 5 assignment, decide how you plan to raise the money to pay. For example, decide to cut your outflow. Create room in your budget every month towards paying down your debt. Finding another source of income or selling off valuable items you don't necessarily need are all options to consider. If you're in deep debt and you have plenty gold, please sell some to pay off your debt. When you balance financially, when you become financially free, you can acquire more golds. because gold, you know, they use them chop now. You cannot cook with it. As in, what value is it adding to you? If not, when you are owing, do you really want to owe debt and die of heart attack? You need to sell off some important things, some valuable things you have, in the bid to acquire them again later, so that you can buy your peace of mind. Think about the triggers that led you into debt in the first place and try to eliminate them. There is no point getting out of debt only to dive back in. Like we saw Zuri in our chapter 3. In the chapter 3, she knew the trigger. What makes her go into debt? Hanging out with her friends, drinking, eating in an expensive restaurant, and she devised a means of cooking and asking them to also come with their own food so that they could hang out. So the hanging out is very important to her, but what follows the hangout is what she's trying to avoid. So she changed the venue of the hangout to a more comfortable and cheaper place. All right, this is the end of chapter 4, and I'm sure you're enjoying. I hope you're enjoying this money gist. If you're not, I am, especially the exercises. When you sit down and go through the exercise and do them by yourself, it's actually the more rewarding part of reading this book. You enjoy this book more when you do the exercises. Like I said earlier, go to the description box in this video or any of our videos from day one. You will see our Telegram link. You click on it, you go there free of charge. You get a copy of this book, an e-copy, so that you can read along with us and also go through the exercise. It has been an interesting read. This is chapter 4 and we are having fun. So tomorrow 9 p.m. we are coming back to do chapter 5, which is surviving emergencies. Wow, it's so interesting reading this book and reading with you. So if you're new to this channel or you're an old person here but you have not subscribed, please click on the description, no, not on the description, on the like button. Like this video while you subscribe, and there is a bell sign. Click on that bell sign so that you get notified whenever our video drops. So I'm expecting to see more subscribers to tell me that you are enjoying the lessons you're learning from here. So from me to you, have a blessed evening and keep rising to your full potentials as you slay from home. Bye and enjoy your sleep.